Hey, what's up, friends? I'm Chenise.
And I'm Asia.
And this is
The Rehearsal Period, where we take you from warm-up to spotlight.
Your behind-the-scenes pass to growth, grit, and glow up.
All right, girls. So the warm-up, the review. What have you been up to lately?
I have been working as usual. I know listeners going to be like, this bitch is always working.
She does work a lot, y'all.
I work a lot. Last Friday, I got to direct a drone shoot, and that was a lot of fun.
Dope.
Yes, went to the 18th floor, saw down all of Atlanta. My impulsive thoughts.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not that type of podcast. That's pretty cool, though. They're using drones for some really cool things lately.
Yeah. And if you're a business owner and you're trying to get some really interesting marketing collateral to post and stuff, there are a lot of people that do drone shooting where they put on the goggles or whatever and the drone just flies throughout your business.
Nice.
Even if it's maybe just a commercial property, something like that. It's really, really dope.
That's cool.
That was a lot of fun. The weather was kind of decent this past weekend.
I know. I was in heaven. I was like, ooh, nice. It is so nice. It was
The weather
lit.
was cute. When it was the best, Friday, I was working all when the weather was great. So that kind of sucked.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's been
Summer,
solid.
Is that you?
Yeah, I know.
Have we had an episode since Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day was, I think, a little bit before Valentine's Day was.
Oh, go ahead and do your little recap.
I had a Valentine.
Nice. Tell the people.
We went to this restaurant called 00, and then we did a pottery making class. And that was fun. And then there's an awkward wait period before the pottery making class, and then right after dinner, so that's when he gave me gifts and stuff.
Nice.
Yes.
What did you make at the pottery making class?
I thought I would be a bit better than I was, especially because I remember our pottery class when I was in elementary school for art class, and some of those vases I made, I literally still have in my childhood bedroom. So I was doing stuff, and I'm like, dang, this is not looking how I want to look. I wanted to make a bowl, then I wanted to make a mug. It wasn't giving, so I settled for basically something like this, just a plate.
Oh, that's better than I could do. I've only gone to pottery painting classes, so I do want to try the pottery class.
Yeah, and then he actually texted me yesterday and was like, oh, I got the notification that we now can go back and paint it. So now we have to go back and paint it.
Oh, it's like a little 2-for-1 date.
Yeah.
Nice. I love that.
That's cute.
How are the gifts?
The gifts were very thoughtful.
Back to the important things.
The gifts were very thoughtful and meaningful, so I appreciate that. Because as a great gift giver myself, I feel like we know what a good gift looks like.
Yeah, for sure. We need a little sentimental, a little bit of...
I be listening to what you be saying.
Exactly.
So oh, wow, I said this in conversation, and here it is right here. Okay. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Another one, thank you.
Another one.
Nice. My Valentine's Day was nice. We ended up going to Tampa to see his brother and hung out with his brother's girlfriend and him, and just we went to this barbecue beer and bourbon festival.
Oh.
Which they're coming to Atlanta this weekend. So
are you gonna go?
No. But I definitely think y'all should go. I already went. And it's definitely a time. Some of those festivals, you don't really get a lot.
Yes.
They had free tastings of everything. And, it was definitely worth it. I don't know how much it was, but I will venture to say it was worth the money. And, I just had, a nice little getaway, nice dinners, and went out a little bit and just enjoyed the weekend.
What did y'all do in the evening time, at night?
So it was Mardi Gras weekend, so we went downtown, to their downtown, and just had a little drinks and festivals. And
then what happened after that?
We prayed and went to sleep. Duh.
Cute.
But it was nice though. Really nice family time. So I'd never been to Tampa actually.
You did say that.
I have never been. So
What'd you
it was
think?
cool. It was lit. I would go again. Okay. So like I said, he has family there, so I'll definitely be back.
Tampa is cute, but Tampa sometimes gives, and I'm born in Florida. Tampa sometimes gives me, we don't know what we want to be. Are we in Orlando? Are we in Miami?
Oh, wait, because I did have a negative observation.
See, I feel
just remembered.
When I go to Tampa, that's what I give. It gives identity crisis.
Oh, you gonna have the people in Tampa coming from us.
No, the people for Tampa.
Because you know I'm a Miami girl. I love Miami.
And Miami's cute. Orlando's cute. You know what you're gonna get out of Orlando. But you know the theme parks and like the sporting events. You know what you're gonna get out of Orlando. And when it comes to Tampa, I just be like, okay, like, what is your identity?
Okay, I will say, when we were downtown Tampa,
outside of Gasparilla.
What is Gasparilla?
See? And, like, if you're not from Florida, you really don't even know.
While we were downtown, I was like, the people not really cute here. I did say that. I was like, you know how you can see, like in Atlanta, you go out downtown, you're like, oh yeah, these some bad girls. Miami, same thing. Like LA, you're like, y'all are beautiful.
Atlanta downtown, you mean like Midtown Buckhead?
Midtown
downtown
Buckhead.
Atlanta is not gonna give like, oh.
But you can still go to like a game or something and see like the general consensus of everyone is cute vibes. That's true. I did say like they're not really cute vibes here, but I had fun.
Not to do too much on Tampa, but to throw them a little bone. I have seen like some social media, TikTok, Instagram videos of like their Tampa run clubs, and the people there looked attractive.
Okay, I guess I need to see those videos.
That's our recap.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Moving into the warm up. So,
yeah, the warm up.
Okay.
Yeah, like
something we're still figuring
out. I don't really think I have anything this week, to be honest. I think it's just like living your truth, take care of your mental and health and physical, and get some sleep.
Yeah.
Get some sleep.
Okay. Or something that we're still figuring out because we just had this conversation is just with the recent like uptick in AI, doing things without it, because I think we're kind of using it as a crutch. So I will say that's something I'm figuring out. Let me tell you the challenge I had. So for Valentine's Day, I made him open one letters, like open when you're sad, open when you're angry, open when you're da-da-da. I did not AI, but when I tell you, it was so tempting, and I've never had that challenge before. So I will say, I was like, the fact that I'm even like wanting to use AI, it kind of irritated me because I love writing, and it probably didn't help that I did them all in one day.
Yeah.
But still, I was like, we need to pull away from this a little bit. So
I'm a little bit disappointed that you even had the thought to use AI for something as sentimental as a Valentine's Day card. I didn't though.
And first of all, it was like 20 cards, like 20 letters. But I didn't. I just took a nap, woke up, and finished them.
You know, and I think a lot of people just underestimate the drive and the thrill behind writing those 5-paragraph essays when we were growing up.
And I love those 5 paragraphs.
Straight pencil and paper. You had to do the little brainstorming, and then you got into that intro. Then you got into the 3 paragraphs, and then you finished with your conclusion.
And I don't think they're doing that anymore.
The kids are not doing that anymore, and it shows.
Yeah, I've seen the emails. No, but I would say that's like the warm-up.
Okay. We love that. So, getting into this week's episode, we're going to talk about the thought process and the necessary steps we took to start our business, from
build our dance
thought
businesses
to creation to establishing all the things
to success.
To success.
Yeah.
And so I feel like Miss Divine Dance Studio should kick things off.
I can definitely kick things off. Let me say, my business has been a thought for 25 years. I think I was like finishing middle school, early high school, and I was like, I definitely want to open a dance studio. Didn't tell many people at all. Didn't know how I was going to do that. I did have a really good mentor, my godmother. She owns a gymnastics place, and I grew up like around her all the time and just got to see the ins and outs of like everything she did. But as far as how I was going to do, I had no idea. I just would always say it consistently and just like, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. Didn't know how much it cost. Didn't know where to start.
Yeah.
So I was in school for child and family studies. I worked at dance studios and gymnastics places while I was in college. And then when I graduated...
Wait, real quick. When working at those dance studios and like gymnastic studios as a young adult, were you ever seeing how they managed things and operated things and like, oh, I think this makes sense. This would make sense to me, or, ooh, I don't want to do this.
Definitely, I don't want to do this. Not going to throw them under the bus, but the studio I worked at in college, they were so catty. They talked about studios consistently. Like, they were just like not good vibes. And the studio that I grew up at, never like that. We did not talk about anyone negatively. We only talked about other studios if we were admiring them. Mm-hmm. And I would even say that to her.
Where's your mic?
You know, she got a lot of cleavage. Let me move it over here. I would even say that to her. I would say, you know, like, we should try not to talk about other studios and not be negative. So I definitely learned what not to do. The gymnastics place that I worked at, it was actually a little gym in Tennessee. And they asked me to buy it from them when I was like a senior in college. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. Looking back,
maybe you should have.
I definitely probably should have. That would have been like, they were trying to, you know, sell it for pretty cheap. They're franchises, so
wow,
definitely missed that opportunity. But I did learn a lot from them as far as how to actually like construct a class and teach a class, and they had all their lesson plans written out. So that was really beneficial. So when I graduated with my bachelor's, I was like, I'm not ready. I was like, let me go back to school. So I went back to school, got my master's in business administration. While I was doing that, I was actually nannying for a business consultant. And they were so sweet. He actually, for my graduation, for my master's gift, paid for like my website and my domain and everything, and gifted that to me.
That's so nice.
So when I did that, this is such a long story. I feel like I'm getting so long-winded, but long story less long. I started doing dance and gymnastics programs out of after-school programs and daycares before I had a brick and mortar.
Already kind of implementing your own, like, you know, adding to your resume of, hey, I don't have my own set studio yet, but I am kind of operating as a business within myself.
Yeah, so operating as a business, started like, you know, LLC, EIN, all of that. Started building clientele, going to all of these daycares, just walking in with like a dream and a pamphlet, and started it that way. And I did that for about a year, built up those customers and money, and then I opened a building. So
how was it? I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily know the steps to go to opening up a building, whether you're going to rent, own, real estate, commercial property. So like, how did that look like for you as someone in your 20s?
Commercial, I was, I think, 23 or 24 at the time. Commercial property is no joke. It is way different than renting an apartment, renting a house. It is completely different. They have so many different stipulations, things that they don't do. They're like, here you go, we're not fixing anything most of the time. So I just started by looking like in, I think like Craigslist was a thing back then. And just, what is the other website called? I can't remember. Like, it's basically like a business Zillow. And just looking for properties in. Yeah, and I had a really nice warehouse when I was in Tennessee for the studio. And it was big, and it was, I wish I could have that rent. Oh my gosh. I wish I could have that rent now. But it was a really good deal. Got it, started renovating. My parents, my mom and my stepdad lived in Chattanooga at the time.
Shout out Miss Tracy.
And we were renovating that thing like no other. Did all the work ourselves, and finally, you know, I had already learned like how to properly establish things, and a couple things that I did not know about. Let me tell you, deposits for electricity for commercial businesses, thousands of dollars.
Wait, no, because like all I had to do was like write to the electricity people for my townhome to be like, oh, I'm now a resident here. And then they, oh no,
I think my deposit was like, for the first time, I think it was like $1,500. My deposit here for my electricity, oh my god, I think it was like almost $3,000. Yeah,
at the Marietta studio.
So it's a lot.
With that, are you using a business loan? Is this all from your own assets? Like, what's going on?
Because surprisingly, people think they can get business loans really easily. It's not that easy at all. You cannot get a business loan. You can maybe get a business credit card if you have good credit, which I had gotten. But it still was like a really low limit credit card. It was like maybe like $4,000, $5,000. And everything else was just cash that I had built up. Wow. So yeah, out the mud for real. No, I used the stripping money for something else. Cut the cameras.
Cut the cameras.
No, I'm just playing. But no, just from nannying and just saving my money. Like, I was that girl with money. So definitely just paid for everything. And then another expense that people don't think about was when you go to pay people. So you know how you get your check and taxes are taken out of your check?
You have to take taxes out of people's check yourself. No?
That amount that's taken out is half of the amount, and your employer pays the other half.
Oh, wow.
And people don't realize that. So when I was to go do payroll the first time, I'm like, what? And I called my mentor, like, what is this? She was like, yeah, girl, Yeah, you got to pay that.
Ooh.
So that was another like expense that I didn't expect, along with like so many other things. But that was the short version of how I started my studio.
Your studio
when I was 20 something in Tennessee, and absolutely loved it. Marketed off the ground. Facebook ads were just starting, so did a little bit of that. Church marketing flyers on the cars, all the things. So
love that.
Yeah.
I guess I'll start like just like how mine came into fruition and concept. But again, we're dancers. Always been dancing all my life, and I was like, dang, I've been choreographing since I was literally in middle school, starting getting paid for it in high school. Like, I know I want to do this, all the things.
Not the basement choreography either.
Not basement choreography, real choreography. And so I also was working at a dance studio when I was in college. Love her down. We still catch up from time to time. And that's when I really was able just to start to see the back end of dance studio business. And in college, I got into National Dance Alliance. So now I'm like really actually flying all over the place, building connections with different dance teams, doing competition judging, all that kind of stuff. Fast forward, I have some years of professional dancing under my belt post-college, and then the thought continues to creep into my mind because all this time I'm still operating kind of like as my own self-business, so to speak. There's just no name to it. It's just Chenise, boom, all the stuff. You get paid here, all that kind of stuff, but I had no, business LLC, nothing like website. That. So when I was on the tail end about to retire from the Hawks, I'm like, okay, boom, I need to do the LLC. I need to find a name. I need to do a website, and I really need to put more effort into this. And working in marketing for almost 10 years after I started the Work Lab, I kind of knew how to market it. I knew a little bit of the legal side of what I needed to do to like clear things out and make sure everything was like buttoned and all my I's are dotted, all my T's are crossed. And it's a little bit shorter version for me towards you because I didn't, and right now like I feel like I'm in like the early stage of when you first started Divine Dance Studio because I don't have a commercial property. I don't know if I want to even do that.
The traveling
thinking about it. Right now I'm still traveling with the Work Lab. And within the next couple of months, I do want to add on people under the Work Lab umbrella. For sure. I have already kind of started doing that, but not to a point or an extent where I need to like clear out taxes for them and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
she be having a lot of guest teachers, choreographers. It's really nice. I could definitely see it booming for sure, especially because like that world is getting more popular. Like I feel like UDA, NDA is getting more popular. And people are just loving it, so
it really is.
I can see it growing.
I want to hear about any maybe advice, or do you have any advice you'd give to people that want to do their own dance studio, whether it's adult dance studio, children dance studio?
Yeah, I would say two things. One, figure out what's going to make you different. So I know for me, I was trained in pretty much every style of dance, but I know specifically like what I like to teach and what type of style and studio that I wanted. There's some studios that are just very glitz and glamour, and they're just like, oh, we're really girly. There's some studios that are just represented a little bit more strong and like headstrong and things like that. I knew I kind of wanted somewhere in the middle where I would welcome children, and I want children to feel comfortable, but I also wanted adults and boys to feel comfortable. So definitely think about like what you want your brand to be. The other thing I would say is like MVP, most viable product, I think. And it's just like thinking about the smallest version of something that people would want to buy and pay for. So figure out what that is. In my case, it was the classes at daycares and after school programs. It was a really easy entry for me to get started because I didn't really have to pay for anything other than my equipment. And I got to use other people's customer base. So from there, it's just, you can just grow and build upon that. So those are the two things I would say.
You sound really smart, friend. You could have ate that, not gonna lie.
Period. She's a little smart. What about you? What advice would you give?
Advice I would give to people, and specifically, I guess I'll, target and be more niche down and say like, hey, you're a pro dancer and you're trying to figure out what you want to do after you stop being an NFL cheerleader, after you stop being an NBA dancer. You still want to have some sort of dance in your life. You think you want to maybe form a business out of it. I would agree. What is going to make you different? What's going to set you apart? Me as a former pro dancer, something that made me a little bit more different and set me apart is all of my experience as a working commercial dancer. I think a lot of pro dancers just kind of stay in that world of pro dancer, but no, I've been in TV shows, I've been in movies, I've done the cruise things, I've worked at theme parks. So I feel like that was something that I leaned into that made me different, because it's like, hey, you can still be an NFL cheerleader, NBA dancer, but also work in the commercial dance world simultaneously. I think a lot of times people maybe leave the pro world and then go commercial, but I was doing it all at the same time. So that's something I leaned into. And yeah, I would agree with that. Find something that's going to set you apart, make you different, but also don't reinvent the wheel. Like, don't force it. Like, that's never going to work out. And people are always going to be able to clock that and be like, seems like they're trying too hard. Like, you know, like, there's so many dance studios or there's so many choreography businesses. Don't force something that makes you different. Obviously, if it exists, lean into it, but also, you know, we are still going to do things that another dance studio is doing or another choreography business is doing, because it's still the world of dance. It's still the world of dance. Yeah, but like you said, just make it your own.
Yeah, I think the fact that you had experience doing all those things speaks volumes too, because there's so many people who try to start the businesses and the choreography businesses, and especially like the training of pro dancers, and they've never done it. Yeah. So that's the part that's crazy to me.
And that's always awkward when people try to sell like, hey, this is how you make a pro team,
and they
all that kind of stuff. And it's like, girl, were you ever on somebody's pro team?
Yeah, like, what team were you on?
But then also, I think it's awkward when people try to sell that. And yes, maybe they have been on some pro teams, but at the end of the day, a lot of it is the dance training. Yeah. And that's why I'm on my webpage. It never gives like, hey, I will for sure help you make a protein, or I will give you all the skills and the tips, you know, to make the protein. No, what I can do is make you an improved dancer and improve your technique and your performance, all the things, and tell you my experience with auditioning for these teams. But at the end of the day, it's going to be up to what the team is looking for and what you've got to offer them.
Okay, so what do you think about this? Because obviously, like, my studio is a place where a lot of pro dancers come when they're trying to make teams. It's tryout season right now, and something that is hilarious to me, no shade, no tea to y'all, but the amount of income that I'm having the past couple of months and every year in March and April is insane. Because y'all only want to train during audition season, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Y'all have to show up in October.
Y'all not in classes in November.
Y'all not in classes in November. Y'all have to show. And I have my faithfuls that come to class, and like you'll see them at the studio all the time. Oh, for sure. Love them down. Or like obviously also sometimes everything isn't dance 24/7. I, out of all people, absolutely get that. But I will say, if you know you have this goal and you're trying to make this team, you can't just start taking somebody's class in January. Please don't. You have to be training for that when the cameras are off. The summertime,
because you're competing against people who have trained their whole life for it, and you want to train 3 months,
and you're competing against yourself. Like, don't you think you owe it to yourself to be the best dancer, the best version of Chenise you can be when you submit that video or go to that open call? Yeah. So I'm limiting my true self when I only train for 2 months.
Exactly. And we can tell, like, I can definitely tell the people who have been there all year, I'm rooting for all of them, and I'm like, yes, versus the people who come in a month or two before auditions trying to get in like a quick fix. It's not going to work.
And as somebody who used to be a broke intern trying to audition, all the things, like, if money is an issue, there are so many other options. Yeah. I used to, like, just move my couch out the way, post. I was probably 22 years old. Move my couch out the way, go on Instagram, go on YouTube. Okay, I see these videos. I'm learning it in my house, and I'm running it like if I was in class. How fast can I learn off this video? Yeah. Then I'm going to film myself performing, and boom, that's my dance class, 30 minutes. Free.
But we do have internships at Divine Dance Studio.
And I'm not saying that to not take class. Like, take our classes.
Yeah, for sure. But no, that's my little hot take of the day.
That is a hot take. It is, we see it happen every time. When it's maybe like NBA audition season. Here people come in my DMs around maybe May or April, and they're like, hey, what advice do you have? I'm going to try out for the Hawks.
Train.
Do you have a head spring? Do you have a keep up? No? Okay, it's not the end of the world. Yeah. All right. What kind of classes have you been taking? Oh, well,
yeah. That's crazy.
It makes me want to be like, especially because, like, yes, I'm a little bit more removed from the Hawks. She's old. But, like, I'm thinking of the people that you would ideally be going against that are trying to return for their third, fourth, second year. And I'm like, baby, if you can't keep up with them and or outdance them, chopped. Chopped. Yeah. So to hear you say, like, oh, like, I haven't really been taking classes. Like, what classes do you suggest? Oh, well, you should have reached out to me in December.
Yeah. It's all about how bad you want it. And at the end of the day, there's always going to be somebody who wants it a little bit more. So you got to try to keep up with that person. Try to do as much as you can. So, yeah. My classes are year-round. They're not just
year-round. Okay, and so with that, is there, like, 2 months where you notice, like, wow, it's ghost city and ain't nobody trying to train?
Oh, for sure.
I have the months in my mind.
My months are whatever months are right after auditions, because y'all be mad. Y'all be mad, and you're like, oh, I didn't make it.
I know. Oh. Honestly, I get it. I do. But as somebody who got, like, right before, it was right when they were making announcements to who made training camp, Dallas Cowboys cheerleader. As somebody who got chopped from that in finals, I think I gave myself like 3 days. I think I was in a dance class.
You gonna try in bed or in class?
Yes, I think it was in a dance class. If finals are Sunday, I was in a dance class Wednesday.
Yeah,
and I'm how bad do you want it?
Exactly.
And I didn't know what my future held or like what team I was going to go for, but I'm just saying, like, 2 months later, I was dancing for Orlando Magic.
Yeah.
So
at the end of the day, they don't care about your feelings. So get out your feelings and get in class.
Yes, get in class.
That's it.
Okay, so with that little business segment, we can always delve deeper into other episodes, and I feel like we will, but we just gave y'all, like, a little taste, this is how we started
a lot of
she gave y'all a lot of tea. Yeah. Not even tea, just information, viable information.
Hopefully y'all listen.
Take your notes out. Your notes out. Okay, let's get into our listener letter. Audience applause. Okay, we have a subject for this email. Should I grow slow or go all in? Hi, Chenise and Asia. I'm a longtime listener and finally writing in because I'm at a crossroads in my business. I launched a boutique creative agency about 2 years ago while still working my full-time job. What started as a side hustle has grown steadily through referrals, and I'm now bringing in about 60% of my current salary from client work alone. Here's my dilemma. I'm exhausted trying to do both. I work a 9 to 5, then log back on at night and most weekends to serve clients. I know I can't sustain this pace forever. At the same time, walking away from a stable paycheck, parentheses plus benefits, feels a little bit risky, especially since most of my revenue is tied to just 3 major clients. If one leaves, I am in trouble. Do I take the leap now and bet on myself freeing up time to grow and diversify, or do I stay employed a little longer, build a bigger financial cushion, and focus on reducing client concentration before making the jump? I'm struggling to tell the difference between a smart strategic move and an emotionally driven one fueled by burnout. Would love your perspective.
Okay.
On the count of 3, should we say stay or go? Stay meaning stay in the 9 to 5 while also, or go meaning like jump into your full-time business.
All right, let's go.
1, 2, 3, stay.
Baby. It's like the people who want to move out of their parents' house too early. Like, baby, stay. I promise you, you're tired, but if you put in the work, it's going to be temporary. Because what you don't want to be is tired and broke. Because you're going to have to put in, if you're an entrepreneur, you're putting in more hours than a 9 to 5. You're putting in 24/7. So you're going to be tired either way. But being tired and broke is going to make it more stressful. What I recommend is you work until you have completely replaced your income. And in the meantime, as you're doing that, you use that and build that cushion so that when you do quit your job, you have that savings built up.
Yeah. And like, I am appreciative that you provided even like more details and stuff. So to hear that it's really just 3 high ticketed clients, like
Not in this economy.
Yeah, not in this economy. That also, you know, made me say, girl, stay. And then in addition to that, like 60%, you're making 60% of your current income, your current salary, in addition to your current salary. That's great. I will say that's really, really great. Put that mess in like a high yield savings account, something like that. But if you're not surpassing your current salary, I personally would say stay. I do know some people on the other side of the internet would be like, oh, 60% is enough, like leave, but I don't think so.
I don't think so either, because that 40% gap is still going to hit you hard. But some things that you can do to help, though, you can hire a virtual assistant. You can just try to like make things more automated so that you're not spending as much time doing things day to day, and so that you have like the mental capacity to try to grow. There's things that you can do in between time, but definitely don't just leave.
Don't just leave. Also, if you don't have the capacity or the money to hire a virtual assistant, you can set aside days. Maybe it's a Sunday, a Tuesday, and a Thursday where you do. Yes, you work your 9 to 5, but you know, you're putting in long hours of your business. But then, like she said, you're focusing on that automation to where the Monday, the Wednesday, the Friday, the Saturday, you get to relax. Like, you know, maybe you're working a little bit, but not as much.
Exactly, because
But it sounds like you're moving in the right direction.
It does, but don't take steps backwards.
Like personally, I'm not the work lab is not at 60% of my current salary in marketing yet. Yet, guys.
Yes. We're gonna get there.
We gonna get there. But when I get closer to getting there, yes, I will then start to have these conversations. Okay, like, do I want to go part-time in marketing, full-time in this business? Boom. Yes, I do. I think I do. But right now,
for sure. So yeah, that's our advice. But of course, let us know what you decide to do.
Please, right back.
Yeah, so
right back.
That's it,
girl.
That's it. Gave y'all a lot of advice there. So
we did.
Let us know if you use any of this to grow your business, to start your studio or your choreography business. We would love to hear that. In the meantime, you guys can like, follow, and subscribe. Make sure to leave a review.
Please leave a review. It helps us with the algorithm.
And let them know where they can find us.
Yes, you guys can find us everywhere and anywhere at the Rehearsal Period. Our business is at Divine Dance Studio. Let's do that again. Her business is
at Divine Dance ATL.
My business is at The Work Lab. Her personal accounts are
Asia Carp.
My personal accounts are Chenise J.
All right, you guys have a great day. We will see you guys next time.
See y'all next week. Bye, friends.